There were many great antagonists introduced in The Sopranos. Ralph Cifaretto, Phil Leotardo, Feech LaManna, all of these characters brought a wonderful tension to the show and added to the growing conflict surrounding Tony. But my favorite of these seasonal villains has to be the man with the Manson lamps himself, Richie Aprile.
Meet Richie Aprile.
Jesus Christ, how you doing?
Introduced in Season 2, Richie is the older brother of former acting boss Jackie Aprile Sr. He's been away in prison for the last 10 years, but returns and reclaims his old position as captain of the Aprile crew. He also starts up a relationship with Janice, who was his girlfriend when they were younger. He butts heads with Tony over the leadership of the family, and the conflict between the two escalates until his eventual death at the hands of Janice. Richie is just such a fascinating character. He's both an Eastern spiritualist into Taoism and yoga, and also a cold-blooded psychopath willing to kill anyone in his path. Not to mention he has incredible moxie for his size. However, of all the strange aspects of Richie, the one that people remember the most about him is his obsession with the jacket. Oh, I'm sorry, not the jacket, I mean the jacket!
It's the jacket!
The jacket.
The jacket.
Richie is obsessed with a leather jacket that he took off a mobster named Rocco DeMeo. Rocco, at least according to Richie, had the toughest reputation in Essex County, and the jacket serves as a trophy for Richie after he defeated him. Richie then gives this jacket to Tony as a gift, in an attempt to mend their fractured relationship.
But it's yours to have now.
Why?
I gotta let go of the past. Like the Tao says, you gotta shut one door before another one can open.
However, Tony doesn't want the jacket, as he's increasingly distrustful of Richie. He gives the jacket to his maid's husband, in the same way that he gives away old clothes and TVs to charity. This is extremely insulting to Richie, and that, along with other conflicts, is what leads Richie to conspire with Junior to try and have Tony killed.
Well, I think of that jacket I gave your brother, and he spit on it. I could slice an ear off his head.
However, the question remains, why did the jacket mean so much to Richie? Sure, Tony giving away a gift is rude, but it doesn't seem like that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things, especially to a mobster like Richie. Well, as we already established, the jacket was a trophy for Richie. It represented one of his greatest accomplishments, the defeat of Rocco DeMeo. He said that despite his small size, when he wore it, it made him look and feel like Erwin Rommel, a German general in World War II. The jacket was obviously a source of pride for Richie, and the rejection of the gift by Tony deeply hurt his feelings.
This shit with your brother, it's been building since I got out. You give him a jacket, your treasure, and he gives it to his fucking Polak maid?
However, this relationship to the jacket also represents a problem that Richie has. He's stuck in the past. He's focused entirely on his past accomplishments, rather than looking towards the future. Being stuck in the past is obviously a result of his time being locked away, as we see other released mobsters struggle with adapting to the new world as well.
In my day.
And that's another thing. I don't want to hear no more about how it was in your day.
This is symbolized in the style of the jacket as well. It's old-fashioned and dated, just like Richie, and it looks a little tacky to the modern perspective. We saw the same visual metaphor of outdated clothes when Tony Blundetto got out of prison as well.
Where's Tubbs?
The jacket is also not the only example we have about Richie's obsession with the past. His fixation on Beansy is also a part of this. Beansy worked for him and his brother before he went away, and the fact that Beansy became a successful restaurant owner while he was in prison just gets under his skin. He takes Beansy's distance from him as another insult, and reacts very violently to this perceived disrespect.
I thought I told you to back the fuck off Beansy.
I did. Then I put it in drive.
His outdated worldviews extend even to his family. Despite the fact that he has a great son who not only manages to be successful in international dance competitions and finds time to clean his father's house for him, Richie prefers his dim-witted nephew Jackie Jr., all because he associates little Ricky's dancing with homosexuality.
Carries my name, Richard. fucking discatiad. My nephew Jackie. I couldn't have a son like that.
This focus on the past is why he wasn't able to get the support of the Barisi crew. Despite any problems that they had with him, they knew that Tony was a safer choice for the future rather than Richie.
He couldn't fucking sell it. He's not respected.
This outdatedness is a trait that he shares with Junior, which is probably why they naturally teamed up. One of the reasons Junior couldn't get the support to be the real boss of the family is because he was stuck in the past and not innovating when it came to their crimes.
Not for anything, God bless your uncle. But he's living in the wrong century, and New York knows it.
However, the story behind the jacket might also underline another contradiction with Richie. The way Richie tells it, Rocco was a very tough guy, thus making his beating of him all the more impressive. However, Junior offhandedly mentions how Rocco actually died.
He later died of Alzheimer's.
Oh, yeah?
Now, people can develop Alzheimer's at a younger age. However, it's a disease we typically associate with very old people. It's possible that I'm reading too much into this, but Rocco dying of Alzheimer's might have meant that he was quite a bit older when Richie beat him, making the accomplishment not nearly as impressive as he makes it out to be. There's even more evidence for this theory in connection to the jacket. Richie says that the jacket is made of fine Corinthian leather, which is not a real thing. It's a marketing term used by Chrysler to suggest the idea that their upholstery was exotic, when in reality it was normal domestic leather manufactured in where, of course? Newark, New Jersey. Describing the jacket as Corinthian might have been a very subtle way of suggesting that Richie's story was an exaggeration, just like the leather.
Silk lining, fine Corinthian leather.
Now, I'm not saying that Richie wasn't tough. He's obviously very brave, not backing down from Tony, even despite their size difference. But there is a disconnect between Richie's fearlessness and his ability to make significant accomplishments, and the Rocco DiMeo story might be an example of this.
Fucking guy's fearless for his size.
That's nice. Then what? He fucking dies. I can't even wear his shoes.
This wouldn't be the only example of contradiction when it comes to Richie either. In his first appearance, he tells Christopher that he's not allowed to hit his niece Adriana Lacerva until he marries her. Now obviously it's messed up that he believes that you can ever hit your spouse, but it goes to his old-fashioned worldview.
I shouldn't have to explain myself. I'm from the old school.
However, he later breaks his own rules when he strikes Janice before they are married. According to his own old school rules, this was an offense punishable by death, and thus his death at the hands of Janice was a just outcome.
He ever lays his hand on my niece again, I'm gonna tear him apart piece by piece.
It's gonna be a while before I eat anything from Satrialis.
Despite all his bullshit about Eastern philosophy and being a different man, he's still the same guy he always was. Violent, arrogant, and concerned only about himself. He never let go of the past, which is why he was never able to adapt to the future.
When's the last time you visited anybody in a can, Richie? When's the last time you gave a fuck about anybody or Richie Aprile?
But Richie is still one of the most colorful characters from the show, and it's why he remains my personal favorite character in the entire series. All of his wonderful contradictions and flaws make for really entertaining television, and Season 2 is my favorite season, in large part because of him. Let me know your thoughts on the character in the comments, and stay tuned for more content coming soon. You're gonna build my patrons a ramp. Matt Joyce, Uncle Mike, Sam Cedarland, Celery Man, Countess von Zarevich, Admiral, Neil Varma, Juan Jaramillo, and Cheshire.